like my truth uncensored. My whole network viral. 12 and a half get you a quarterback. I got them shits flying like spirals. I like my truth quarterback. I got them shits flying like spirals.
Welcome to another episode of the Uncensored Truth Podcast. I'm your brother, Old God from Hip Hop News Uncensored, and sitting across from me is my co-host.
What it do? What's good? It's your brother Sam and Viral Hip Hop News. What a beautiful Tuesday it is. Another episode of the Uncensored Truth Podcast, episode 170.
Yeah.
Oh God, what's good, my brother?
Excited to be in the building once again, man, for the 170th episode
That they know about.
Let's go of the Uncensored Truth Podcast, man. Shout out to all the listeners. Shout out to all the people, you know what I mean, that don't even like the podcast, that leave the negative comments. We do appreciate each and every person that does visit, you know, our channel and whatnot. But yeah, man, we in the building today, Sam, man, ready to get it popping. Like you said, it was a beautiful day out today, and you know, this is what we do, man. So we ready.
Indeed, man. Love coming over here and doing what we do. We got an electrifying episode for you guys this evening. Shout out to everyone that'll be watching it tomorrow or listening tomorrow on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and all major online outlets. Good morning to you. If you check us out on your drive there, make sure you leave a comment. Let us know that we're entertaining you this morning, if it happens to be in the morning, and make sure you drop that 5 stars. Also, obviously, on Viral Hip Hop News Uncensored, the Uncensored Truth Podcast channel. We do appreciate you. Oh, God, man. Let them know what we got today brewing on the lineup.
Yeah, man. We're going to talk about YG. YG sat down and done a tremendous interview on Big Boy's Neighborhood. And during the interview, he talked about the late, great Nipsey Hussle. I thought it was pretty interesting what he said. We want to recap that. Also, Mike Tyson and Wack 100 appeared to have a situation.
Oh,
we're
shit.
gonna have a little bit of fun with that one here on the podcast today. Joe Budden's. We're going to be speaking about him and some of the backlash that Joe Budden has been receiving from something that he said about a prominent NBA basketball player. Also, we're going to be talking about LeBron James' son has made, you know, a real great mark in his young, illustrious career. We're going to talk about that and just the power of social media, you know, tie that in today. Also, Meek Mill, 50 Cent, some news with them too, joining up for a real positive, you know, project coming up. And, you know, I'm loving it. I can't wait to get into this thing though today, Sam, man.
Sounds like another great episode, man. We had a great episode yesterday. Episode 169 was dynamic.
Yeah.
As usual, we talked about Meek Mill a little bit, talked about 50 Cent, Jimmy Henchman. We talked about Master P and Zion Williams. And I'm glad we got some more basketball going on. The NBA Finals are coming up Thursday, and people like the sports. They like us talking about it. We got some things in store for sports. So, yeah, man, great show yesterday. Another great one today. Let's get started.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to start off with this, man. Like I said, YG, you know, sat down on Big Boy's Neighborhood the other day, and he started talking about Nipsey Hussle. But what he said towards the end of this interview really brought up a point of contention that we want to talk about, that we've been talking about. So I'm just going to play this clip here, and then we're going to rap about this. Hey, man, here's YG.
You say all the phrases of, you know, of course the marathon continues. God take the good. I feel when you say that, man.
Yeah, I'm not. I can't accept that with this one. Just be like, yeah, nah. It's like, no, can't accept it.
And then you got different moments too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not about just the stage. It's the videos, the private conversations. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot. Like, if the world felt the loss of Nip a certain way, I always thought about what you felt. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean,
if it physically makes me sick,
you know, that's, bro, it's crazy. I still think about this shit every day, all day. Mm-hmm. Like, I go do my little shit, and then I be doing my shit, and I'm like, the homie gone.
Yeah.
How did this
just pop in your head, huh?
It's like, nah, bro, this shit ain't. I'm talking about Nip all day. Like, whoever around me, they know. Like, wow, you know some Nip shit. Like, it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm gonna do what the homie would want us to do.
Yeah.
Turn up, keep his shit lit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like, it's sad. I can't accept it. But the homie gone, though.
Man, we'll leave it there. We'll continue it too, man.
But look, I want to say this. I want to say, I hate how all these people coming out of, you feel me, nowhere saying all this Nipsey shit when he passed, and it's like I just wish the homie would have knew that these people fucked with him when he was alive. You know what I'm saying? It's like that shit fake, and ain't nobody fucking with that, and they liable to get slapped. You feel me? When some real ones come across,
Easy go.
Bill slap. He was bro like, stop playing, you know.
So that's YG, you know, addressing not anybody by name, but calling out people who show what they're saying is fake love towards Nipsey after he died. And he says, look, man, I wish that Nipsey would have known that these people rock with him like that, you know, when he was here, saying, man, we're not starting anything here, but who do you think that YG is addressing? Because we know that we've seen a number of people that as soon as Nipsey died, that jumped up and appeared as if, and you were critical of a few of them, and as other people were as well, but people who jumped up and said, look, man, we love Nipsey, that's my brother, boom, 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 boom. They started defending him, and Kodak Black said all this and that, but YG is like, he was at the funeral, so YG was obviously very close to the family,
right.
But some people weren't at the funeral. They weren't speaking on Nipsey's funeral. What do you think about this statement, Sam, at YG calling out ?
Well, see, this is the thing. He didn't name any names, neither will I. But when I initially thought about it, I said, damn, is he talking about bloggers? Because all he said was people. And usually, if people are talking about bloggers as it pertains to giving criticism or having something negative to say, they usually call those bloggers out by name. Not maybe in particular, but they say, I'm tired of these fucking bloggers, these bloggers, okay. And then he said something that kind of raised my attention. I wish that Nip knew he had all of this love when he was alive. So that obviously wasn't a shot at bloggers, because none of us, how many people out there that speak on hip hop or speak on this or speak on that, whoever spoke on Nipsey during that time genuinely know who that man is. People go out there and they did their videos, and no matter how distasteful they were or how respectful they were, they did their thing. But none of us really genuinely know Nipsey, especially in particular the way a YG does. That's why it would be great to even have him on here, just to go ahead, if you feel the need to give stories, man. Go ahead and just talk. It ain't got to be about the people that's out here doing the bullshit, because we know you were genuinely a part of Nipsey's life. I mean, it's been documented. His family was saying it. You were up there at the funeral. So even if you didn't have proper knowledge on you guys' relationship, you can obviously see from looking from afar, if you covered any Nipsey coverage at all, that, yeah, this man, YG, had a very close relation to Nipsey Hussle, which showed all throughout. So he also has great license in giving criticism to those who don't. And he knew in his mind who he was going to speak on or who he was speaking on, and we can all sit back and speculate. He didn't name names. Like I said, I'm not going to name names, but the ones that you can kind of see, it ain't hard to see who's genuine and who ain't. Just put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's very well put, you know, the way you put that. Obviously, again, we can say whatever, but people jump up. But again, we don't know. We're not in position to say, oh, this is fake or not. But YG kind of is, because he's Nipsey's boy for real. Again, it says a lot when you're at the funeral and the family brings you in. You know what I mean? So
a whole lot. You understand me? That's not Nipsey. That's Aramis Asgadon. That's another whole level. So
yeah, and so it's just like, you know, I salute YG for this, for calling people out. I'm sure he just, at the time, he probably would have called them out, but he was probably busy mourning and doing the whole thing. And now he finally got a chance to have an interview and talk about it. And he's like, man, these dudes is fake.
Right.
He ain't want to really cause no trouble by calling nobody's name, because some people may think it's a cowardly thing, but sometimes it's smart, because why even pick wars? You don't just pick wars just to pick wars with people. And then a lot of times when you call people out, now you're actually helping them, become relevant again. So salute to YG for what he said. We seen the people, that were genuine, about Nipsey. We seen a lot of people going in there trying to buy stuff from the store, but we know who's dealing with Nipsey beforehand for the most part.
Okay, I'm glad you said it, because I love the way YG did it. I'm so glad he did it the way he did it, because not only because Big Boy was done with the conversation, he said, we'll leave it at that, but he made it a point to make that point known in particular without calling out names, because names didn't need to be called out, because what's going to happen? That's no better than an Instagram post. That's no better than a social media post of you going out there, calling out somebody's name and trying to get a reaction. YG knew good and goddamn well if he called out names, what it would have came to.
Yeah.
Now all the stories come out.
Yeah.
Now it's some unnecessary drama. Nah, this shit is real. This ain't no Hollywood shit. If I see you when I see you, we may have some words pertaining to that situation because I didn't appreciate all the attention you were looking for in someone's death that I really fucking cared about. And I'm glad he went about it the way he did.
Right.
That's all I'll be asking for.
Yeah.
You could go ahead and talk about what you want, but there's certain ways that just people who are genuine about things go about them.
Yeah. I definitely, didn't really know a lot about YG, you know what I mean? But definitely growing, to love him. And you could definitely tell that Nipsey had a special effect on this dude's life, like no other, like almost like a big brother to him and carried him along, you know what I mean, the journey and put him onto a lot of game, even though here's the crazy part, a lot of people don't talk about two different sides of the spectrum, Blood, Crip, something you typically don't see happening like that. They usually kind of just stay on their side, you know what I'm saying? But, they truced it up, pieced it up, and, it was great, man,
The power of hip hop and just how
sir.
it brings people together. Because how often do we see now two sides that when we grew up, that shit was like oil and water. It did not fucking mix at all. Chop it off right there. It did not mix at all. And for us to be able to see prominent rappers, popular rappers out here with millions of followers, be able to hash that out, that is incredible to see. That's powerful to see.
Right.
And like you said, I gain more and more respect for YG every day. He's a great actor. He's very talented at what he does. Does some knucklehead shit too, but we're all young. We do wild shit, and we're living in a day and age where everything is on camera. So we live and we learn on camera. So I'm glad on how he's kind of grown, how he is growing throughout this Nipsey tragedy, man. Keep doing what you're doing and keep his legacy alive, because you are a branch directly off of his legacy, and continue to keep it going.
And then, just a quick update with the Nipsey situation. I'm not mistaken, his sister was granted, custody, of his daughter Imani.
We didn't report that.
We didn't actually talk about that afterwards because it was just kind of redundant at that point.
Yeah,
but
I got you.
Just to add on to this, since it's the Nipsey conversation, the family was in support of it. We do know that his baby mom had a DUI. She might be facing jail time. So it's one of those situations where it's real. All we want to see here at the Uncensored Truth podcast is just the child being the best possible, scenario to blossom as a young woman. That's it, period. Whatever side it be on.
And honestly, do it as privately as you could possibly can. Already in the limelight as much as she is, both being fathers and understanding the little limelight that we have. Right. The importance of protecting the ones underneath us, our families. And you know what I mean? So to be able to have to go through this publicly, and now to have the custody battle public, get that thing public. This young lady has to go to school. She has to still live her life. So you would like to do that as privately as she could, the way her father would have wanted it genuinely done. So hopefully this is the end of it. Now we can kind of move on. If there is anything that continues to happen, hopefully not every fucking note of the situation is out here for people to gravitate and just eat and chew up, because that's not how it should be done. Well,
unfortunately, I think it's probably gonna. Yeah. It's almost like they're now under that microscope.
I'm being too naive.
Yeah. It's like the TMZ, microscope now, where anything that's filed, police report, whatever, because now is people want to know. So unfortunately, they're gonna have to just try their best to stay out, of that limelight, sort of kind of like Jay-Z is able to. Beyonce, a lot of stuff hasn't, they've been able to stay under the radar, but it's a difficult thing to do in this day and age with this technology.
It is, man. It's damn near impossible. And I raise children on it, and she's on it, so it's just
right. Definitely
pray for everybody involved, all family involved.
Yes, sir. But you're tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother God over here and Sandman over there from Viral Hip Hop News. If you're listening in on YouTube, you see the visual right now. Right there on your screen is a like arrow. Go ahead and hit that button for us. And please hit the arrow to share this video on your Facebook timeline, or go ahead and text it to at least one other person. Now, today, man, Wack 100 posted this video up here, of a pill bottle, and Wack 100, pretty much visited Mike Tyson's podcast called Hot Boxing. Now, pretty much they're claiming that they got into a scuffle. Now, Wack 100 posted this. He said, pulled up on one of my legends at Mike Tyson to do his podcast. Had a blast. Shit got warm in the room when Mike wanted to address the Tupac conversations. This picture was taken beforehand The interview got a little crazy and hostile, shaking my head. Going to be some conversating when this hits Hotboxing podcast. So hopefully it looks like they might got, that on film. What was your first thought when you thought about this? The legendary Iron Mike Tyson getting into a scuffle with Wack 100. A lot of people call him the new Suge. Say that they do though,
man.
But real talk, because he's always scrapping and shit.
Right.
But go ahead. What do you think about this?
What did I think? Well, first off, Mike Tyson, one of the greatest boxers of all time, one of the greatest people of all time.
Facts.
Even though he got a lot of shit with him. I mean, his baggage is definitely he's lived through his baggage. Let's just put it that way. He's a legend. And who didn't expect that to happen? I mean, he's also one to notoriously not take any shit at all. I think the last time we reported on our brother Mike Tyson, he was slapping the shit out of Don King about this time last year for feeling disrespected. So at any moment, any given time, if Mike Tyson feel like slapping you or not knocking you the fuck out, he's going to. And I ain't mad at Wack 100. He took a L. And I think a lot of people will with Mike Tyson. I don't give a fuck how old Mike Tyson is.
What do you think about the nature of the dispute, though? Because we know that you were talking about in pre-production, Mike Tyson, Tupac, great friends at the time. This was the nature of the conversation. If we know the history of Wack 100, he's pretty much had some ill-advised things to say about Tupac. In the past, I've been following it. You've been following it as of late. And Mike is close with him. What do you think about that whole dynamic?
Well, it's crazy because the last time we spoke on Wack 100, it was about a picture that he put up on Tupac.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
So it's like, oh yeah, the two is a very sensitive topic. Now, 96 and 97, it was after the Tyson fight, right after he got out of jail. He fought that the White Iris Bowl, and then he fought, I forgot what his name was, but he fought Bruce Seldon in Vegas. The last time Tupac was alive. It was the last time he was seen alive. He died that night in Las Vegas. Obviously, too, Mike Tyson took that very personal, took that to heart, spoke about it on a number of different interviews, oftentimes getting emotional and talking about it. So he wasn't playing any games. He cared about Tupac deeply. So to hear the way Wack 100 came, the disrespect in the way he came at a close friend of his, it makes perfect sense. But you got to respect Wack 100. And even though you don't have to respect necessarily what he said, you got to respect the man by staying by his convictions, understanding that there's a potential ass whipping coming right through this. But I'm not going to fold. I'm going to say what I got to say because I mean it. And
he posted, the picture of the pain medication he has there. It's two men. He also wrote that, two men, he said dispute amongst men is just between those two men. He puts the West. That's dope. Like me and you can get into a scrap in here or whatever, and nobody got to know about it. And
nobody know.
It just says what it is. And we have in the past, what I mean, coming up, we used to fight all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like it made us better as men. This is what it's supposed to be. Nobody got killed. Nobody's running around, making diss videos, cussing him out, talking about his children, putting his address up.
Come on, man.
Nah, I just, he took the opportunity to say, look, I post everything else. Look, this is what happened. Mike Tyson, he came at me. Now, we don't know if the footage has been captured. I think so, but we don't know. Hopefully, it will be, released, real soon. But we know Wack 100 has been one that always, like you said, stands behind his word and is not afraid to scrap. That's something that's missing. A lot of guys want to just shoot nowadays. So
he's an older cat. He ain't no young boy.
Right.
He's definitely not in his 20s, definitely not in his 30s. He's an old man, and he's seen Tyson during his fucking prime. He knew what was coming. But he's also known exactly what he said about Tupac over the years. It wasn't no need to sugarcoat in that situation. When you look a pit bull in the face, it ain't no need to try to give him a bone. You got to get fucking thumb. Yeah. And sometimes you get bit.
Right.
And that was what it was. And I appreciate that from Wack 100, even though I disagree with most of what he has to say
about Pac.
About Pac in particular.
Yeah.
I have nothing but respect for him when he can sit back and just stand by his convictions.
Right.
And don't have to sit back and eat crow because look, I meant what I said.
Definitely.
I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. But you tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Oh God, and Sandman over there from Viral Hip Hop News. If you're listening on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, if you enjoy the content, please go ahead and give us a 5-star rating right now. If you would just take the time out to do that, we do appreciate that. Now, Sandman, you were telling me about some backlash that Joe Budden is receiving as of late.
Yeah, man. So obviously the Toronto Raptors in the NBA Finals get to go to State Warriors. Kawhi Leonard being the main staple in the reason and why they're sitting in the NBA Finals right now. So in the lead up to the NBA Finals, we get the build up, we get to talk in the backstory, things like that. So on the Joe Budden podcast, they were just talking about a number of topics, and one in particular was Kawhi Leonard, and his dad came up. Now, if you don't know Kawhi Leonard's history, one of the main things in knowing Kawhi Leonard, because he doesn't give out much information, he's real quiet, is his dad was murdered in 2008, January 2008 in Compton at his car wash. He was murdered, shot and killed. That got by Joe Budden today, or a couple days ago, whenever it was. And he went in. He said, guess who's a killer? Kawhi's dad. It's a fact. And this is what Joe Budden was theorized. Now, while he directly did not cite where he got his information, he explained that his pops was a shooter in 5 different publications. That's where he's seen it. He did his research and said that his dad was a banger. He said his dad is in jail for, I think, whatever. I won't get into it, I'm afraid. And the uncle is out here handling the business as Kawhi Leonard's manager. When you look at Kawhi and his game and his demeanor, don't it sound about right? And then you're happy to know that his dad was a shooter, his uncle was a shooter. Now, the host Rory went in and looked it up and said, nah, his father, Mark, was shot and killed January 18th, 2008 at the Compton car wash that he owned. He may have been involved in something, but he has now passed away. So obviously you would have thought that Joe Budden would say my father, blah, blah, blah. But no, Joe Budden said, well, I'm sorry to hear that, condolences, but I stand by my word. He said that he was a gangster. It was what it was. Okay, rest in peace. That doesn't change my story. All right, so he's not there. But guess what? In the articles that I read before he left, he was getting busy. And to my knowledge, I think his uncle gets busy too. Now, his uncle is his agent. So he works hand in hand with Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi keeps it in the family, which we all the way respect.
Yeah, definitely.
But did Joe Budden cross the line? Did he go too far? Now, we respect podcasts, go all the way in and all that. But we also have a line of respect as well. So did Joe cross the line in your opinion?
I think that when you say something about the deceased, that could be crossing the line. Children, things like that, people's significant others, that could be, what you consider crossing the line, especially if you don't know all the details of the particular story. Now, his father may have been into what he's in and whatnot, and who knows, you know what I'm saying? But the facts that we do know that he was gunned down, at his car wash in Compton. He read that in the paper and whatnot. All the other stuff is just hearsay, whether or not he was in the street and whatnot. And even if he was, did that justify him being killed? You know what I mean? I don't know. Depending on what he did, people say maybe, but maybe Joe Budden probably crossed the line with that one a little bit, man. Did Kawhi say anything, or he just kind of brushed it off?
Kawhi's not saying shit.
Okay,
but that's okay. And this is the whole thing, though, because to a certain degree, now we were raised in a very good household. We had a very good foundation around us.
Right.
But we grew up around some real motherfuckers, and we seen some shit. And we obviously know conversations. Some conversations you have behind camera, and some conversations, okay, that's the green light to have on camera.
Right.
When you talk about this kind of situation, this is a great topic of conversation to have behind camera. Yo, man, I was doing receipts, so-and-so, he got busy, blah, 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 blah. But then when you kind of translate it into content, people can kind of question your credibility and question why and the intent on why you're doing it. And I respect the fuck out of Joe Budden, and I think he's a real nigga, and he understands the level of, okay, these are behind camera conversation and these are on camera conversation. And he may have crossed the line a little bit because Kawhi Leonard's uncle was sitting here doing business. Kawhi Leonard is known as a upstanding individual in the NBA, doing his thing.
Yeah.
He never personally puts any of his business out there. If he wanted any of this business out here, let Kawhi Leonard put it out there. Give that man who's still living, who's guarded as one of the greatest NBA players that we have to date right now, top 5 easily. Yeah. Let him go out and tell his story, a story that he doesn't say anything about. For you, the #1 podcast, hip hop podcast, Spotify, and all that good stuff, to put this information out and have people talk about it, this is a little bit distasteful.
Yeah, it is, and it's one of those things where over this career, a long time, people are probably going to say some things they regret.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would like to hear more what Joe Budden has to say, on it. But, that kind of is what it is. I think it will definitely be crossing the line, because especially if your information is, whether it's accurate or not, you just don't do that, because now you put yourself in a position where one of these guys can take that personally. And like YG was talking about putting hands on people, it could really cross the line, because now you're disrespecting somebody who's deceased. Or they could take it and say, you know what, we ain't going to say nothing. We're going to give you a pass on this. But everything is on the table. So my thing is you just gotta, you can say whatever you want, but consequences come with that.
This is my thing. This is what I'm learning. I'm learning this every day. People sometimes make mistakes in what they say. It doesn't matter how big the platform
Facts.
or how small the platform. I guarantee you Joe Budden probably went back on that and said, damn, I wish I didn't say that shit. Damn, I didn't. But sometimes you get in that seat and get real comfortable. Success is there. We don't know what he's dealing with personally. He was in his bag and his swag. It was something that he wanted to talk about privately, but fuck it, it came out now. And now we going to hunt it with it. We going to go all the way there. And it was a mistake. I don't sit there and hold it against Joe. No, a lot of people are giving him backlash saying this is the last straw when it comes to Joe Budden. I'm not going to cancel Joe Budden or anything wild like that.
But what they had before that.
Maybe just off of what they've heard enough.
Yeah, I mean,
they've heard enough, and it's a lot of backlash. But I'm not going to be one of those people to say fuck Joe Budden. I'm not going to do that at all. I think he's changing the game out here. I think he's doing a lot of great things.
Right.
And
well, Sam, man, not to cut you off, but
go ahead.
Think about it though. All the time, you know, you read the comment section. People will say the same thing. I'm done with you guys. People in this business, people are not always going to agree with what you say. We can take that on the chin, but a situation like Joe Budden, you don't want to get known for disrespecting people a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Now, obviously, people who are saying that probably feels like he's done or somebody on that show has disrespected them, I guess, in some type of way by talking about something a number of times for them to say that's the last straw. I don't watch it, you know, to know what's been said like that, to be honest with you. But, you know.
And this came through in the headline because if it didn't, I wouldn't have heard it because I don't personally watch Budden's the Joe Budden podcast. I'm busy shooting ours.
Right, exactly.
I genuinely don't. Busy shooting ours. So
right.
That being said, now it's out here. Now it's points of conversation. You don't know if sports platforms are going to start grabbing and gravitating with it and how big the story is going to be. I don't know if he has an apology in place. I don't know if he's going to say, fuck you, I'm around with it. Like I said, that's his prerogative. That's his platform. He's doing great things with it. So he's going to continue to do what he does.
Right.
No matter what it gets him. So, like I said, a little distasteful to me, but hey.
Yeah, definitely.
Who the fuck am I?
But you're tuned into the Ancestor Truth podcast with your brother, Old God and Sam, man. We going in today on this Tuesday evening, man. We want to let everybody know that, man, we're going to be live and direct at the BET Awards. You know, I think June the 20th to the 24th. So stay tuned for that content. You know what I mean? All through that week, we'll be uploading and stuff. And we'll be out there, you know, trying to, you know, make some real big connections. So if you're out in the LA area and whatnot, hit us up, man. Definitely.
Indeed, man. There's a number of great concerts going on during BET weekend. Your boys from the Unsaid the Truth podcast will be at every single one of them. We'll also be at the BET Awards show. So if you, like you said, if you're around and you're in the building, let us know. We'll give you guys play-by-play of all the events that we see throughout the evening. Of course, during the podcast that we will be shooting out in LA live for you guys, man. Boy. Can't wait. We're gonna bring the set out there.
Let's go.
We're gonna park it up. We're gonna give y'all the podcast from the BET Awards, man.
Right.
And do our thing. This is what we love to do.
Yeah.
Very excited to finally get out and do so, man, with my brother, Oh God.
And we invest in our own money. People can't talk about it. Like a lot of people won't invest in a $80 microphone. You know what I'm saying? Man. So it's just like we're investing our own money. This is something that last year we wanted to do, but we kind of didn't have it like that. We said, look, we want to build it up to where we could take from the business. The business could generate the funds for this now. The business has. So that's just, you know, success for us one year to another. And, you know, we're just going to be moving and trying to make, like Sam was saying, some real positive, you know, connections with some real powerful people in LA. So this is big for us, man. And this is you know, our small little career, whatever. We've been at this, you know, together
a couple
years.
Nah, years. You know, together a year.
Yeah, together on this a year. So, you know what I mean? It's a huge step for us. And all you can do is take steps.
Man, I reminisce, man, because you figure last March we started the podcast, started doing our thing with Hip Hop News Uncensored to start out. Then we transitioned to viral, and then we started what we started. Right. Individually doing our thing and then starting it up. And we bought the stuff, and we were talking about the BET Awards last year, but we were still in the red. Yeah, we still have not yet made the money to pay for the stuff that we had to buy to start the podcast. And as fast as it went, it took about a fucking year. Yeah. And although it went quick, and although we had our other platforms and other businesses to kind of fall back on, this took a year of hard work. Yeah. As fast as it went to go ahead and solidify ourselves. And now we're sitting in positions where we can kind of make moves as a business, as a podcast, as a unit. And this is just the beginning. You're gonna see us at a number of other shows, a number of other events. You're gonna start seeing our faces more.
Yeah,
get used to it. Yeah, because we out here, and this is self-made cell phone, and we're proud to say it, man.
Fact, it's just us. You know, it just is what it is. We wish we had somebody behind the camera. We wish we had the sound and all that and the editing, but no, we do all of this at the end of the day. It's just a two-man show. So you know, we're humbled by it though at the end of the day, not to be cocky, just confident.
No, it makes us hungry.
Definitely.
It makes us get up every day and want to do it. I think you put up a dope quote. It's like, I forgot what you said. It's a grind, like it's a 24-hour a day grind. If you want to make sure that you want to be an entrepreneur and a sexual entrepreneur, you better be ready to grow 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because yesterday doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And we got to get up every day and know that all the shit that we did yesterday that was great does not matter today, and damn sure won't matter tomorrow. Yeah. So we got to be great every day. So salute to you for getting up every day and grinding with me.
Yes, sir.
And man, we're going to keep rocking.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah, man, this next story, you know what I mean, is a powerful one. We talked about this, you know, yesterday, and this was Meek Mill's altercation, or him being denied entry to the Cosmopolitan Hotel out there in Las Vegas, where your boy 50 Cent had joined in today with this meme. He posted this up and he put at the bottom, he said, "Damn, boy, they wouldn't let you in, Meek. Ha 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 ha. I know he was tight. LOL, they fouled for that. I won't stay at the Cosmos till this is resolved." And we see it right there. So essentially 50 Cent joining the cultural ban is what they're calling it, against the Cosmopolitan Hotel. Also, Yo Gotti was another rapper who spoke out against this. Sam, man, what do you think about this? 50 Cent now saying he's going to not going to stay. And by the way, Meek Mill was going to be suing him.
You know, 50 Cent does a lot of trolling. He does a lot of clowning. He's pissing a lot of people off on social media, and it's great to see. But anytime there's some social injustice going on, he makes a point to make sure that he's involved in the wrongdoing, to make sure that he's like, nah, I'm against what's going on. He did it with Gucci. When these cops out here killing black folk, he's out here talking against it, even though he may do it in his way. He may not out here going and screaming and rah-rah and throwing his fist up, but in 50's way, he's putting it and making his part. And there's something genuine about that. It's something I respect, and I believe him. And Cosmopolitan is taking a real black eye right now in a place where casinos go up a dime a dozen. You are one of the new ones, but you could be one of the old ones within the next year. And you don't want to start pissing off clientele. And in the day and age where social media runs rampant, when you may not have known you were being recorded. And somebody was saying yesterday in our conversation, yeah, but one thing you failed to bring up is it private property. And that's one of the main points. Oh, yeah. Hotels are private property. They could do what they want. They had these things put in place so that they could go ahead and have the house that they had yesterday. But when you have it on camera, you watch homeboy fumbling, then you get multiple statements. This doesn't look good no matter how you want to shape it. Fuck it, no matter how you want to spin it. A business is a business, and a business is a business to make money. Like you said, the main thing you're hitting on is forget all the policies and stuff. You got to satisfy the customer. You got one of the biggest rappers in America, Meek Mill, that's going to bring, like you said, probably millions of dollars possibly in that casino that night. There's no way in hell you tell him that this place is at capacity. There's no way in hell that you deny this man coming into this building. So forget all the policies and all that. At the end of the day, they're going to make it to where so bad to where people are not going to deal with this. And we talked about the next story we're talking about with LeBron James pretty much, and his son getting 1 million followers overnight. When people like 50 and all these people, when they join themselves on to a cause like this, people follow. People, whether it may not be how we think, but maybe somebody will write a letter. Somebody might get on the phone and call. Somebody might sign a petition. There's all types of ways you can fight. It's not all about standing in the corner and throwing your fist up and saying something. No, you use your power and say, look, we're not dealing with this. So maybe 50 maybe have 5 million people or more that follows them. Maybe 100,000, maybe 10,000, maybe 15,000 people. It causes them to make an action. So like you said, we got to salute 50, even though we disagree with some things that he does. He is using his platform. Again, we were talking yesterday about how we thought that Jim Jones may have been taking a shot at 50 with the Gucci thing. 50 Cent burned the Gucci. He said, fuck that. I'm burning that. We're not dealing with that. So everybody's not Malcolm, but at least he speak it out. I'm glad he's doing something with it. He's doing something with the platform. And like you said, people watch, people listen, and people will follow. And in a place like Vegas, where that shit could be going like that, this is huge.
Yeah.
They better get this shit right and pronto. They better not take it to court. They better kiss Meek's ass all the way down. They better have Meek just make try to, as hard as you can, to have Meek say, all right, look, everything's good, green light. Because if you don't just worry about black folk. It's going to be a lot of folk. You got Meek Mill fans that are in high positions.
Yeah.
Michael Rubin.
But they switched up the story because remember, Sam, man, when you made a great point when you talked about how it was caught on camera. Now, Meek had his boy recording. It was a key thing because they lied in the beginning and said that based on the information that they had that they couldn't let him in. Then they switched it up and said that, oh, we was at capacity. So now all this shit is caught on camera now, them switching up their story and shit. Like, what's the reason why the dude can't come in?
Let me tell you how terrible the capacity story is. You got
kill him.
You got people in line, right? They'll have a line. They'll charge $100 in there.
Right.
They'll get it to capacity. When people leave, they got to use the bathroom, if they want to smoke, if they want to do that, because certain things aren't allowed in certain areas.
Wow.
You got to go out.
Mm-hmm.
You won't be allowed to re-enter. They'll start a re-entry line. So they'll let you leave. You paid. You got in, but the club will hold your ass there and bring out people in order to fulfill capacity. Now, capacity issues are serious. They're no joke. And if you're not cool with the fire chief or the fire inspector, they can come in there and shut that motherfucker down like that. I've seen it happen. Right. But there's ways around that. What Meek Mill have, maybe I'm gonna give him an 8-person entourage max to get into that fucking building to make you an extra $50,000 to $100,000 within hours. Second, people that are spending money on bottles see that Meek Mill is also in the building. They're buying more bottles.
Yeah,
because Meek's going to bring more attention, and that's going to bring more women to you. We all know how this game works. You did it because you were afraid. You heard his name, you seen the Timberlands or the fucking Jordans, and all of a sudden it shook you out of your mind. There's probably already too many black folk as it is with mustard in there. Fuck that, we can't get any more. No.
And here's what Meek said to add on. Actually, pretty much saying the same thing you said. He said, "I don't care about no casino. I bring in millions every time my name is mentioned in the Vegas casino event, where I'm always welcome. But you're not gonna just treat us like shit and act like it's normal. Mm-hmm. Put some respect on our race, please. And thank you." Meek Mill posted that about 17 hours ago on his Twitter. Once again, Meek Mill is going to be suing. Now, somebody put in the comment section, do y'all know the difference between racist and prejudice? Yes, we do. And it's probably both with that situation.
Yeah, fear is prejudice and racist. He thought that they were going to shoot.
Right.
He thought that they were going to bring negative attention, violence to that place. Therefore, he wasn't allowed in. Right. Why? Because he was black with a beard. He had 8 other niggas with him, and they were scared.
It just is what it is.
It just is what it is. And shout out to Meek Mill because, like he said, that's just a casino. That's 1 in a fucking million. Meek Mill is welcome in a million other casinos in Vegas where he's going to make them tons of money, where they understand the business. Whether they like black people or not, they understand the business, and they're going to want that clientele because they're not stupid.
Right.
I'm glad that he said this because there's a number of other people, a number of other black males and females who love to go out, who go to Vegas, who go to Atlantic City, who don't get the amount of respect that Meek Mill's about to get from this situation, who find themselves in situations where they're disrespected time in and time out with the constant being looked at, the prejudice, because all you got to do is have somebody in a powerful position of letting you in or out, scared of what they see. And then that's the green line on whether you get in or not, or whether you pay $2,500 for a table or $6,000 for a table. That shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah.
Just more attention got to be put on it.
Yeah, so we'll definitely keep you updated as this progresses. It's probably one of those stories that's probably going to go under the wayside. Won't hear from again, but I hope Meek Mill is successful. I hope he hits them up, in the pockets, because, the social media attention is good, but if they got to pay out, I'm sure they'll be less likely to ever try to pull a stunt like this again.
And if Michael Rubin was in that car with him, it wouldn't have happened. Because they damn sure know who Michael Rubin is. That motherfucker tips very well.
Right.
And word gets around quick. I know a couple people that work in Cosmopolitan, in the nightclub in particular. I know people that work in there, and they know who Michael Rubin is. So if he was in the building, that green light is on. Right. Shouldn't be like that. That should not be allowed. That's fucked up.
Yeah, man. Definitely. But that kind of is what it is. 50 Cent joining forces. We're definitely with Meek Mill. Definitely salute 50, on that one. But you're tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother Old God and Sam Ant in the building today. I want to talk about this next story, man, because this is going to highlight the power of social media. Now, Bronny James, who is LeBron James' oldest son, LeBron James lifted his social media ban on his oldest son, Bronny James Jr., and within just 24 hours, he gained 1 million followers on Instagram. Now LeBron announced it to his people on his Instagram page, and crazy. Now you were letting me know, I didn't even know that he was balling like that. LeBron's son is a beast too. In basketball. That's a beautiful thing. But even more amazing is the power of social media. We just got finished talking about that when these actors, activists, rappers attach themselves to something that people are going to follow. Sam, man, what do you think about this 1 million Instagram followers overnight?
I mean, it's setting him up to go ahead and follow right in his dad's footsteps. It really is. And I don't know if that's a good thing, great thing, or bad thing, because we all know how shadows work. But
yeah,
I'm very happy to see just growth. I'm very happy to see generational wealth right in front of our very eyes. When we watch LeBron James and remember him right after the post-Kobe era. Now, we'll come in through Kobe, but right after the Lakers and had what they were doing, and LeBron James comes into town and changes the game, the next Jordan, the next Magic, and he exceeds expectation. When you get to see him and see his son and remember when his son was a baby and LeBron was a young NBA player to now potentially playing with his dad in the NBA, which is LeBron James' goal. Right. And I don't see why it wouldn't happen, because the man is a freak and he does what he does physically. And if he wants to do it, it can happen. And his son has what it takes and obviously has the bloodline and has the training to go ahead and ball. And he's obviously going to get accepted by the best schools. Oh, yeah. Not just only based off of his talent, but just the whole thing. Very happy at what I see. Let me spin and play devil's advocate, because I got nothing but great things to say about anything LeBron James. Right. Is this a gift and a curse for a young man, given the iconic figure of his father, LeBron James, given the amount of attention he's about to receive? Because we already know in those million people, those million subscribers, there's probably entertainers, fucking this, fucking that. You got to think like, goddamn, I'm a high school kid and I got this person that I idolize looking at me like, it's a whole different level.
Well, you got to step up or be a bust, be a Harold Miner.
Is that fair? Hey, Harold Miner ain't no fucking Harold Miner. First off, this would be way worse of a bust than Harold Miner. This is LeBron James Jr. And that was fucked up. He's supposed to be the next Jordan. No, he flopped like an African.
That's what I'm saying. But it's just like, you got to step. I mean, if you got like all the stuff you said, he got the genes, he got this, he got the coaching. He should be like LeBron or better than LeBron. He should be better than his father, period. He shouldn't be worse. He shouldn't be a bust.
But is it fair for him to hear that right now at 13, 14 years old? Is it fair for us to say, you better be better than your dad right now? That man is building schools and fucking been to 6 NBA finals and shit. You better go ahead and exceed that expectation.
Expectations are going to be high the older he gets, the more he progresses, especially in basketball. It's just the off the court stuff is one thing, but yeah, the closer he gets, and they're like, well, he didn't make it. LeBron came out, he didn't come out. They're already going to start, every step of his career is going to be compared to his father. Well, LeBron got this many points. He got this many. He didn't do this. LeBron did this. I think that I'm not going to say he's going to be better than LeBron. It's too early to tell, but I think that based on all the circumstances, he should. Del Curry, Steph. You know what I mean? I mean, Steph is way better.
You're comparing Dell to LeBron, God.
I'm just saying, I'm just saying, like,
father to son. I get it.
You teach if you were an NBA basketball player, should your son be better than you? Would you think?
You would want him to,
or close at least.
You would train him to be,
definitely.
And LeBron is, and you. There's no doubt in my mind that kid's going to have everything that he needs, all the tools that he needs to exceed his father. There's no doubt. But when you look at his father's resume, I'm asking, is it going to be fair? Now, I don't really realistically see this kid seeing any real criticism until he maybe enters the NBA. I think he's going to go ahead and tear through high school. I think he may tear through college and may not see real competition in his face until he gets to the NBA. And that's where it's going to shine the most. And that's where the real test comes. You got some time for that.
Yeah.
By another 5, 10
4 or 5 years, maybe 4 or 5, depending on how good he is. 13, 14 years old. Yeah, he probably
it's all
a few more years.
Talk about that real quick. The NBA. That's a great league, man. And you work hard and you do your thing. You can almost call your shot and almost even manipulate your way out of college and just kind of like, okay, I dedicate myself into being an NBA basketball player, which I'm almost certain that LeBron Jr. is sitting there like, no, I'm about to be in the league. He already knows that.
Yeah.
So guaranteed contracts, endorsements out the ass, Just talk about, and we talked about this last year, the potential billionaires that are going to come out the NBA soon. Just talk about the NBA as a whole, as a franchise, and what you think
I would
about
say
that.
go for it. Like you talk about, college. I mean, not college, but somebody in high school has a chance to go to the NBA. The money's right. Do it. Skip college. You can always go back later on in life, get the money, get the bag. Don't wait. Do it. You know what I'm saying? Because you could be playing all those free years in college. You can get a debilitating injury. Now all that money you would have made is now off the table. It's good to rely on your brain, and that's first and foremost. But if you got athletic ability, that they talking about you going to the NBA, you better go as fast as you can. That would be my advice on some real talk, because it's just too much playing in college for free. In 4 free years, it's just too much.
I agree with that 100%. No doubt. We're in a different day and age where you can create your own highlight tape from freshman on, and motherfuckers are going to see it. Yeah. And if you're good enough, they're going to pay attention. And now we're in the day and age where a young athlete can grab a passport and go to Germany, can go to Australia, can go to another league, make money while having a name for a couple of years, develop themselves, and get drafted to the NBA from one of these European teams, from one of these international teams, and still have the success. Go right out of school and make money, not go to a university that, although we love them because the Fab Five shaped one of my life as a kid. I love the Fab Five, and I'm glad to see that they're getting better now. Salute to Juwan Howard, who just got the coaching job at Michigan University. Dope. Real dope to see. But they exploited them brothers. They exploited them. They had the numbers on the back of the jerseys. I had all of them. We ain't had no names on it, but they made money from it. We all see what happens. And with these universities that aren't even giving these kids an education, like you said, the education is important. That's what they fucking threw on us as propaganda growing up. And we didn't have the means of knowing what we know now to see through the bullshit. But then we get locked up in school. They're not teaching you shit. They're making money off you. You can't make a dime. And they just got 4 years of real good income off of you. Nah, fuck that. Yeah. So I love the NBA. You can go out of high school, 18 years old. All right, I need to develop my body for 2 years, but I can go make $200,000 a year out here, go see another life, go see another world, and then come to the NBA. Man, that's living, bro. I love it.
Yeah, it just is what it is, man. I think, a lot of people argue against it, but this day and age, you got to go for it, because you can always do all that stuff on the back, and you can go to college. You can learn all the education shit they want you to learn. 4 years of bullshit in college at any given time. So yeah.
And how you gonna live out there? The same living that you're gonna do in college that you think you may miss, you're gonna go get internationally, and you're gonna have money to be able to do it. Yeah, man, shit.
Facts.
I'd run as fast as I could. How many NBA players you see fucking going back to college 10, 12 years later? You can go back.
Right.
Go live.
Definitely. But yeah, man, another episode of the Uncensored Truth podcast is in the books. We'll be back on Thursday, man, to film episode 171 of the Uncensored Truth podcast. It's been real. It's been great. Everybody listening, if you're looking for a way to support the podcast, if you're listening on YouTube, you can like and share the video. If you're listening on any other podcast platform, you can also share the video and give us a favorable rating. That helps the podcast get out to the masses, and that's the best way. We're not asking for no money, no links for donations. We just ask you to engage the content, like and share.
Indeed, man. I couldn't have said it better myself. We'll be back on Thursday. We got a day off tomorrow for another dynamic episode of Uncensored Truth podcast. Oh God, man, we said we had to exceed expectation from a dynamic episode yesterday, and I think we did the motherfucking job. If you think so, and you're listening on the podcast network right now, whatever phone you may have, make sure you hit that 5-star. Make sure you tell us and appreciate. Let us know that we fucking doing our thing, man. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. Till Thursday, this is Sam Ant, Viral Hip Hop News. Oh God, Hip Hop News Uncensored. We are the most dangerous, most underrated podcast out there to date. The Uncensored Truth podcast. We love y'all. We out of here.
Yes, sir. We out. Peace.
My truth uncensored, my whole network viral. 12 and a half get you a quarterback. I got them shits flying like spirals. I like my truth uncensored, my whole network viral. 12 and a half get you a quarterback. I got them shits flying like spirals. You're now tuned into the greatest. Motherfucker, you ain't never lie. If them people watching us like YouTube, then tell them motherfuckers like and subscribe. If the blunt stale, I still click a bell.